they opened up a little small track in Danville called the Dixie Speedway, and they wanted to get some black drivers, and they thought they didn't know who to approach, so they went to the police department to find out what black guys had speeding records and things like that. So they told them they want somebody to drive a race car to see me. So that's how I started racing.
As Matt told us earlier, trying to become the first African-American driver since Willie T. Ribbs and join Randy Bethea and the great Wendell Scott.
He did he drove the car exactly what the car wanted him to do. He got out early. It looked like a little tight, but he kept in the throttle and he got a good lap. And wow, way to go, Bill.
There you go.
Woo-hoo. That's his wife.
That man, Tony Schumacher, wins. He is the champion for an 8th time. But Antron Brown, if Tony Schumacher loses, becomes the first African American to win an NHRA title. 376. Antron Brown is the top fuel champion.
These need to be the best 7 laps of Darrell Wallace Jr.'s life.
That was a good first part of it right there.
Turn number 4. Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to get his first win in the Camping World Truck Series. His final time through 3 and 4. He's going to do it. Bubba Wallace wins at Kansas.
Ready. What they gonna say now, baby? Let's go!
Record is equals. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Get in there, Lewis. What a way to do it, mate. What a way to win your 7th world title.
I'm gonna tell you something. Then we'll get jumping here. I'm so mad that not only did Lionel have just the indecency to just randomly bill me $100 for an Elite that I forgot that I ordered for Bubba's Kansas win. Yeah. Not only, I wish they had like a better way of letting me know, like, hey, bro, you finna charge your card, man. You finna be eating ramen noodles, buddy.
Yeah.
But also the other part of that is they have the indecency to not ship it till today, but they charged me on Thursday. So I won't even get here by the time I go back to work. I'm like, well, what's the point?
That's right. So, like, if I try my car, I expect my shit to be shipped by tomorrow.
Yeah,
hands down.
They do that too. They sit on it for like 2 days. They sent, because I went back and looked at the paper trail, and they sent me an email. They sent me an email and they said, we're getting ready to ship your order. And then that was it. And then a day later, they were like, all right, we charged your card for the order. And then today it was like, okay, we shipped the order. Lionel Racing, if you're listening, by all means, please figure out something, bro. There's got to be a better way to handle this logistical issue y'all have, because there's no way there should be this amount of time passed between me getting billed for a car that you forgot to remind me that I neglectfully ordered because I don't know how to spend money properly. And when I actually get it on my door, I need to go back to ordering Plan B, man. Those guys got me stuff overnight, but
get a calendar, Carl.
Yeah, I
wish just saying, I wish that Plan B would say if you don't pay for yourself on time, at least like a 2 week at least a 2 week notice, because I had to cancel my bubble order for now until after my Six Flags trip.
Yeah,
at least that.
Plan B do that?
No, I don't do that.
Oh, they used to, man. I used to have a brother in the warehouse named Reggie. I don't know if he still works here no more, man. But I tell you what, back in the day, and we got to get started to this. Back in the day, I used to wear Reggie out, bro, because this is back when I made minimum wage. And I'm sitting there, I didn't have no bills. Oh, happy Pride Month. But no, I used to work Reggie to death because, and shout out Reggie from Plan B if anybody knows what I'm talking about. But this is back when I worked minimum wage. I had no bills whatsoever. So, buddy, I was ordering stuff all the time. And then I would realize, oh, wait, I only make $7.50 an hour. So I'd be emailing Reggie like, hey, can you ship this on this date, this on that date? We'd be working together. We'd be on conference calls. It was great. So anyway, but yeah, man, I guess I'm sure they probably have tightened that up since then because folks was running roughshod on them back in the day, man. So
Yeah.
and the guy that runs that place, Brent, he don't take no mess. So,
Oh.
and I'm not gonna get into that because there's some other stories behind that. But anyway, welcome everybody to the Victory Lane Vibes podcast. We've already had a lot of fun. We got a little bit of change in the lineup today. Obviously, we're your hostesses with the mostesses. I'm sticking to that, even if that's not grammatically correct. I'm Carl. Obviously, we've already heard from Bonte. That's all we need to hear from Bonte. Jared is here with us, and then we have a fourth guest, or not guest, host with us today that we've been trying to find a spot for her, but she is incredibly busy, or just doesn't like me. I'm not really sure. So.
Oh my God.
About time she come on.
I know, right? Because like what's so funny is like Kiana, and I gave it away now, but Kiana was in like the planning stages for all this, and then just like didn't show up.
Okay, I got a life too.
It was like I gotta
wait a minute.
I gotta go to Paris. I gotta, whatever. And it's also the kind of jet set. She's a 21st century woman, always doing some fancy mess. Anyway, but yeah. So as customary. With anybody new, obviously, Kiana, you've got to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you became a fan, how long you've been a fan, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll move on from there.
All right. Well, since Carl gave me such a terrible introduction, anyway, I'm Kiana. I've been a NASCAR fan. Oh God, I want to say probably about 25 years now. I would say. I used to watch the races all the time with my grandma, and that was really how I got into it. She wrote a little like gossip column for our local black newspaper, and she had to do like a little sports section, so she had to watch like all the sports every week. So I would sit there in the living room with her and watch it. And she used to watch NASCAR, and I thought cars were cool. Like I was always playing racing games, like on my PlayStation and stuff. So I would just sit there and watch it with her. So that's really how I got into it. And I really just kind of kept that all through, teenage years, college years, adulthood. I watch it every week, always have. I think the first driver I ever met was, it was Elliott Sadler. I was like 7 years old. And my mom actually worked for a company that like insured a few of the cars, like way, way long time ago. So they brought a couple of the cars to her job. So I got to meet him and somebody else. And I can't remember which other driver was there. But I got to sit in his car, and I like remember that moment being the moment like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. So I think that's really when it like clicked for me, that I really love motorsports. So yeah, I've just always been into it. Like I said, I always play video games. I play Gran Turismo pretty often. Not as much as I used to, but definitely still do it in my free time. But yeah, I love everything, motorsports related. So
that's actually really interesting. We'll have to talk more about that at some point. No, seriously though, that is really interesting with the newspaper article stuff. I mean, the Gran Turismo bit is a little mid. I just
shut up.
I just can't take it seriously. Honestly, I'm so spoiled on everything. Because I have a PC, but anyway, so
here we go.
Yeah, dude. I don't like Forza either that much. I'm excited for the new one. Anyway,
bro, they added Barbie cars in Forza.
I'm mad I can't play that. I really want to play that.
Literally.
I'm excited for the new Forza Motorsport primarily because I'm just in love with the Cadillac DPI. I think. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I found out today, and this relates to the podcast a little bit because Cadillac's a big motorsport brand. So I found out today, and we'll jump into it after I say this, that in like the Depression, right? So Cadillac had only been a GM brand for like 2 or 3 years, and the Depression hit, and their sales fell like 80%. And so this guy that GM had working for him, this mechanic guy, went in front of the board and said, instead of asking Cadillac, why don't you just legally allow black people to buy your cars? Because this is like the 20 and like black lawyers and stuff or whatever were buying Cadillacs, because they were nice, fancy cars. And so they did that, and them not being racist saved Cadillac, which is the craziest thing ever. Yeah, and I looked it up too, and that actually is true. That's pretty
dark.
insane. Yeah, wait, no, it is pretty dark, but you know, I don't know how to say this in a politically correct way, but there's a lot of things in this country you got to thank black folks for, and the Cadillac DPI is one of them. So just keep that in mind for the IMSA snobs out there, or whatever series that thing races. I don't know, it just looks good. My biggest complaint with GT racing is there are far too many acronyms to remember. I don't care. F1 is simple, IndyCar is simple, NASCAR is simple. That's it. I don't need the rest of that stuff. It looks cool, but I don't have the mind capacity to deal with any of it. So, anyway, speaking of mind capacity to deal with anything, Nashville was last night, which I think that's the first planned Sunday night race I can remember for a very long time. They say for like fall races where like they went into the night, but I went back today and watched the highlights. I know there was some discussion on Twitter about whether it was a good race or not, and the Gluck poll trended that it was yes. I don't think it was a good race. I think the people were happy with the winner, but this car is just again do not really amaze me on flat tracks. But so there were some good moments for sure, but it just wasn't what Nashville can produce. So that was all right, but yeah, between that and the 23 just in typical fashion being a great car and then just falling apart in the beginning and into the race and somehow finding speed in the middle just made me glad I didn't waste my Sunday night watching it. But it was all right. In my opinion, it was all right. It was a good race, I guess, all in all. And especially to hear Blaney tearing to NASCAR because, in my opinion, he's like the most like company man out there. I don't think I've ever really heard him pissed off at anything. So that was kind of cool not cool, I guess, but that was out of the ordinary. But yeah,
it was necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we brought that up a couple years ago when they announced they were going to Nashville. People were like, "Well, isn't Nashville all concrete?" And then NASCAR's like, "Don't worry about it." And then now they're like, "Well, now we got to worry about it." So, but yeah, what y'all think of it?
It was all right. I mean, I thought Xfinity was better. Xfinity, they were like really going for it, and I was pretty impressed by that. So like watching that and then watching the Cup race, I was like, I mean, Cup race did have some good moments, but it just wasn't like as exciting. ARCA and Xfinity both had really good races this weekend. Of course, ARCA wasn't in Nashville, but yeah, I thought they both had really good races this weekend.
Sunday race was cool. There was a lot of good moments though. Overall, in my opinion, was a bit disappointing for my guy. Even though he himself bounced back into P15, but
right,
cool, yeah, cool with the cool Ross. Actually, this like the first race that not really the first race, but like Ross has won without any issues, and he led the most laps all yesterday. I don't think I ever seen Ross this dominant in like ever in Cup until now. But happy before Ross. Race was cool, which was a little better, but as it is.
I mean, I don't mind when the races get strung out because you hope to see some pit strategies and fuel mileage come into play. That didn't happen. It was still we got our normal green flag pit stops, and whoever has the fastest pit stop typically wins. That was really the only time you really saw any passing was on pit road. I mean, Ross had a great car. This was, I think, the first race where Ross actually won on a quote unquote NASCAR oval, because he got a Mickey Mouse win when he won Talladega. And then of course he, did what he did to get his win at COTA. But I'm proud of Ross. He's got a lot of talent. I was kind of for a planned night race. I wish they would have left it alone and had more darkness so we could see some more parity happen in the nighttime. But shout out for NASCAR trying something. But like all y'all said, the car really doesn't behave itself on flat tracks. So I expect some more changes coming, hopefully, to improve racing on those type of surfaces.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week, and I think it's too glaringly obvious at this point. Something has to be done about the racing of this car. I think we can only do eyes wide shut for so long about it. Um, but yeah, the Xfinity race was great because like every Xfinity race this year, they don't know how to run without having cautions. I would almost argue that they probably have had more green, white, checkered finishes or late race cautions or just whatever than any other series this year. And trucks was cool too. Hocevar got a second win, and he was, I guess he was acknowledging that his first win was kind of a Mickey Mouse win because he said something about, something about let's see them say I backed into this one or whatever the case may be. So that was um, cool too. But yeah, I mean, I'm indifferent on Ross. His story's great. I mean, he put in the time, put in the work. I'm always a little annoyed at him because when he has incidents or whatever, he's like, Steve Urkel, like, did I do that? Like, yeah, dude, I mean, like he has this attitude about him, and that's probably why Justin Marks loves him, where, he acts like he's driving a 30th place car and he's got to get everything out of it. And it's like, no, it's one of the best cars in the garage. You can be patient every now and again, dude. But that was cool to see the Trackhouse win and what's technically their backyard because they have like their corporate offices in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then the shop is North Carolina. So I'm sure that was really cool for Justin Marks and for I guess Pitbull and everybody and my boy I forgot his name. The guy that came over from Michael Waltrip Racing and Ty Norris. Shout out Ty Norris. One of my favorite stories in all of racing. So, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing really you can do. I mean, until they fix the cars, it's just gonna be it is what it is. But it is really frustrating when you have races where, guys just unload the fast cars and there's just not really a chance to change anything up because you've got planned cautions, and there's just nothing really else you can do. So it is what it is. But speaking
I guess
of,
the one thing I will say, the one thing that bothers me, I keep replaying that last second of qualifying for Bubba because I just feel like if that 1 second had gone differently and he had been able to just keep it on the track, like how different would this race have been?
Well, I think it would have been a lot different. They would have had the track position from jump instead of having to kind of work in reverse. And maybe they would have been able to salvage a top 10. Honestly, had the pit crew not, just stepped on their own toes as per usual, which,
abysmal, bro.
Yeah, I mean, my dad, I love my dad to death, and he doesn't understand anything about racing, but he watches it on my behalf. And he said I don't know what's more disappointing for Michael Jordan, watching his pit crew fall like that or when he played for the Wizards or when he did professional baseball. And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know either, honestly. And
I'm sorry to cut you off, Carl.
Yeah.
Both of the pits managed to mess up so bad. Both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including Tyler too.
Yeah, that was, oh God, that hurt. Yeah. I felt so bad for him.
I'm like, what the hell is going on with this?
That was crazy.
Really? Tyler had a fast car and it was
that was.
Like he was the only competition besides Denny and Truex to have competition with Ross. Till the whole tire went down, it was wraps. He couldn't really bounce back from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, he was. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm done.
He was freaking lights out, which is crazy. But I tell you what, we as a collective and people that aren't here tonight, we all talk on Twitter all throughout the week or whatever, and we always are really hard on 2311. I listened to the Steve, what's his last name? How do you pronounce that? Loretta? I don't know.
Loretta?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Loretta. Come on, bro.
I don't know, man.
Butchering Steve's name. Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve, though. Yeah, for real.
We love you, Steve.
Yeah, we do love Steve. But I listened to that episode of Dale Jr. Download with Kelly because she has a series about business and motorsports, and there was a section where he talked about we're going up against organizations that have been around for 20 and 30 years. I mean, and so for how that team performs, Bubba included, because it is kind of weird. Not to get off on a Bubba tangent, but it is kind of weird that now with Reddick there, and even last year with Kurt Busch, people kind of analyze the performance as Bubba Wallace, and then like the team comes second, which is really frustrating. But they are a 3-year organization. They are in the old Germain Racing Shop. There's a lot of things going on, and so for them to perform at the level they're at now with such limited infrastructure in depth and capacity, I guess you could say, I don't know how to really form that. And then to look at, them starting their own pit crew deal this year. I mean, I take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. You're going to have problems. I just wish every weekend did not feel like that montage and Days of Thunder were like everything that could go wrong for Tom Cruise did go wrong, because that is what the last 3 years have felt like. Honestly, for for this team,
it's like like Bubba, like I said, like Bubba had a fast car, and just like off the first stage, it fell off like a rock. But for him to bounce back and literally carry the team through pit issues and having a terrible car all Sunday, to him to bounce back to P15, at top 15, you know what? I'll take that. Like Bubba is really working his ass off. Like this literally the best season for this year for Bubba. Like P15 in the playoff standings, but in the standings and above the playoffs, and gain some points and stuff. Gain some points this year. Like this is even though pit issues was a little kind of garbage though, but I'll say this though, at least it's not like last year. Ooh. Yeah.
That's what's so funny is that it's not last year, but somehow it's the same as last year. But yeah,
it feel like it, but it's I definitely get what you're saying though.
I think with time, with them broadening that team and stuff, that'll get better. It's just growing pains. It just sucks that they have those growing pains, because in comparison, you look at the team that won this weekend with Trackhouse, they came at the same time, and the course that those two teams chartered to where they're at now is totally different. And that's why. Why is that?
They got paid ownership points. Both cars made the playoffs last year. Both cars got paid out in the driver standings and the ownership standings. So they had a little bit more money to play with this offseason. Not that I'm making excuses for 23-11, but It seems like they have funding, especially with my Lord and Savior, Michael Jordan, selling his beloved Hornets franchise. I'm not saying they got an unlimited bank account on the black card, but they got an unlimited bank account on the black card. We've all seen the renders of the race shop. They have the money.
Oh man, it's massive too. Like I saw somebody that we all talk about, like that lives in the area that drives by the shop, and she posted a video of it, and I was like, God, Lee, that is incredible. And that's just the skeleton of it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, but it looks really good. Yeah.
It's just so I just feel like both of their cars, working on both cars to take them into the playoffs and get that experience, I feel like helped calm them down. Because Ross was the car to beat yesterday. There was nobody could touch him besides Tyler, but that happened whatever it did. I just feel like it would be, if it were my team, we need to do something to make sure both cars make the playoffs so both cars can get that experience. Because, yeah, Bubba got it last year, changing his number to 45 and like having his team go through that. But I feel like it would be more special if he's in his car in his number. And he's doing it for, him and his, not, I'm going to just drive. I'm going to switch numbers just to help the team out, take one for the team, and so we can maximize going into this season.
Right.
Yeah. Bankhead, sorry. Monte, anything else to add to that?
No, but I will say this though. Summer Bubba is underway.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I was so hoping that yesterday was the day because I'm so ready to tweet out in all caps that it's hot Bubba summer. So I'm hoping we get through next weekend, go to Michigan and knock that out, but we'll see. We'll see. But
Hopefully, yeah, I was say like last time I said like hopefully he could gain a lot of points during this whole summer.
I think so, man, and that's what's so frustrating about it. And we talk about it all the time, but it's so frustrating that I mean he is right there as far as being in the same conversation as everybody else, and then it is always just the dumbest of things. I think back to like Auto Club, and
Hmm.
I in my heart of hearts believe, or even Daytona, right? Like got put in the wall by Truex in the opening laps or I don't know, it was like lap 20 or something like that, and the car was broke. They rode around, got it fixed, and he was pushing Kyle in the outside, potential chance to win the 500, got caught up in a wreck. They go to Auto Club,
Ugh.
yeah, I
Just
mean,
top
like I
10
said,
all
No,
day.
Daytona broke my heart because that was my
yeah,
birthday, and that was all I wanted was for him to just
oh man,
finish the race first of
it was,
all.
Me
yeah,
But to
either.
it was.
he was right there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and then the year previous coming so close, and then ran great in the Clash, and then come home, and then goes to Auto Club. They start no practice on qualifying, and then he is like rocketing up to like third. I mean, running lap times that are as fast as Kyle Busch or whoever was leading. And it was either Ross Chastain or Kyle, I forgot who was leading in the early stages. And then the car gets all sanded up and the motor blows up and just and that's just the way it goes, man. It's just like, golly, what is the
Yeah.
problem here?
Right, man.
But
He's like he's there, but always some damn issues going on. It's
yeah,
so
I mean, and I'm sure he feels it too. I'm sure it's the same conversation,
for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it
But
kind of felt like that for Raja too in the truck race because I mean, it was like, God, okay, here
Oh
he
man,
is. I mean, that
mhm.
broke my heart
it's every week, every
because he
week
had a
he has
rocket
speed.
and it just
Yeah,
died.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's every single week. And I tell you, man, I was in Nashville on what was that Thursday, and I saw the GMS guys inside of the Love's Truck Stop over there in Nashville, and we made eye contact, and I should have said something, and then that would have scared them enough to double check everything, and maybe this wouldn't have happened. I really do blame myself for this, honestly.
yeah, it's your
But
fault. We
but
just gonna
really,
start blaming you.
well, really, what it was is I spent all my energy like mean mugging like the Hendrick Holler drivers that were there, and
Oh,
and I was hoping that translated into like Kyle Larson not winning, which it did. So you're welcome on that
okay.
regard. But yeah. So speaking of Hendrick and Fontana, all that good stuff. So the worst kept silly season secret in a couple of years. Um, is that Josh Berry is going to replace Kevin Harvick in the four, and I don't know. I'm assuming that they already knew, but an interesting little facet to that is that Anheuser Busch is probably leaving the four and going to Ross Chastain. So I hope and I'm curious if they've got funding lined up for him already. Or they knew that was going to happen or whatever, but um, I mean, I just wondered, do you guys think that he's going to make the most out of that ride? Or is he going to be able to perform there, or is it just going to be like how it was yesterday, where they all finished in like the 20s besides Priest, who somehow managed to finish, I think, like 16th or something. So
Hmm. I'll go first. I
yeah,
don't know. My bad, boss. I was gonna say I don't know what the hell is going on with SHR. Like y'all SHR, y'all are a goddamn championship team. Y'all won one in 2014 with Kevin Harvick. Y'all won a goddamn Daytona 500 with Kurt Busch in 2017. Now y'all like below like like Rick Rare Racing. I'm like, what is going on with these dudes? But I hope things change because this year is garbage. Oh God. But like with Josh Berry being the four, I think I like that. I think it's good. I think it's a good seat for him. Josh Berry is a great driver. probably one of my favorite drivers in Xfinity right now. It's probably gonna be one of my favorite drivers in Cup. But like, I hope he'll do well. They probably gonna have like a little okay season, maybe like a Top Gear's little season, but hopefully he'll do fine. And I hope HHR will figure that get their shit together, because man, they are terrible.
Yeah, it's been rough. I feel bad because like I want them to do a little better. Like not, obviously not better than my boys, but I mean it sucks, when you see teams that are like clearly struggling. Because you would never want to be in that position with your own driver. But I think Josh will do great. I feel like some people are underestimating him. When he's had chances, he's done pretty well. So I feel like once he's able to like fully focus on it and really just kind of immerse himself in Cup racing, I actually think he's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, it was awesome. They purposely didn't announce Josh Berry until after Hendrick got what he needed, made sure all his drivers came back so he could get free seat time. That was the most petty thing in the world. But that was so petty. But I do feel like maybe it was the worst kept secret just because they are trying to find funding. I know Tony said in the announcement he didn't care about anybody who could buy the ride. He wanted somebody that can drive and mesh with the team and get them back to where they are. But I think that they started leaking it just so they can gain some interest. I mean, we know Gene Haas money long because he just sponsors Ryan Preece forever. He's still probably the sole sponsor on his F1 cars. So I think they'll be fine. I think, if anything, Josh Berry will elevate SHR, hopefully. There's only one driver in that camp we don't like, Mr. Smithfield sponsor. Hopefully he goes out the pasture for good this season, and then there'll be talks about him.
Oh, what?
So hopefully that announcement comes soon. But I'm excited for Josh Berry, just knowing he ran late models and he really needed a shot, really needed somebody to take a chance on him. Junior took a chance on him. He won, ended up landing a full-time deal, ended up finding funding, getting a sponsor. Hopefully Tire Pros follows him to the Cup Series, but I'm very excited for what next year looks like for Josh Berry. We'll see about SHR, but at least Josh Berry, I think, is going to have a bang in 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but Josh Berry is, I remember when he made his first nationwide Xfinity Series start, like back in 2014, somewhere in there, and this awful looking Speedco car, and then he just disappeared. And I was like, okay, rightfully so, dude was mid, but which that's to my ignorance, right? I didn't know that he had won a lot of Legends and stuff like that, but I think speaks a lot to his talent as a driver, his perseverance and just everything for him to build a very successful and winning late model program at JRM, with Junior and all that stuff that has crafted some great drivers. William Byron came to that program, and for him just to stick it out until he finally got that chance and then made the most of it. And I think that there was kind of the question. It was just like, well, I guess he's like, what, 33 or something like that. And, we live in this era where like 19-year-olds are signing like full-time multi-million-dollar Cup deals. So yeah, well, hey, Ty's been having a pretty good season, But I think like Larson, his Cup deal, I don't even think he was 21 when his Cup deal got signed, if I remember correctly. He was still pretty young. I don't remember. I'm probably lying about that. I think he was pretty young though, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, young talent is what always comes to the top. So, you have these guys that are in their 30s and stuff that they maybe don't get the same chances. But I looked at it the other day, and, Dale Sr. did not even enter his first full-time Cup competition year until he was like 28 or something. So I don't think age is a factor there. I think Berry has a great racecraft. And I just hope that Tony Stewart is just of clear and sound enough mind to figure out what is going on with that team, and he just doesn't like burn the whole thing down, because I'm sure he's hot tempered about it, but yeah, I mean it's a weird situation right now. It feels like Ford as a whole is still really behind. Somehow Penske is not as far behind, and somehow RFK is neck and neck to being the best Ford team every week, that's weird. But yeah, I mean,
Shocking.
yeah,
Shocking, no.
honestly, I mean, what's good, kind of good for them, I guess. I'm lukewarm about Brad, so there's that. But
LeBron's team.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that he had ownership stake in that whole deal. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I hope they figure out the funding deal. I'm curious, man. I really am curious about is what the hell is going to happen to Cole Custer? Because I really felt like at the beginning of the season, when he announced retirement, I was like, okay, this is how Custer gets back to the Cup Series. Because his money is Haas money, because his dad is like a big exec, there, and has worked for that team forever. Carl Haas, Carl, is it Carl Haas or Carl something else? I don't know. I don't know what the guy's last name is. No, Carl Custer. I don't know why I said Carl Haas. Carl Custer. We have the same name, kind of, sort of. Anyway, I'll be honest with you, man. If I was looking at Cole right now, I would tell him he probably needs to brush up on getting a real estate license, buddy, because look, man. I'm just going. You got to call a spade a spade. A couple years ago, he's winning everything left and right. And now he's getting beaten out by guys that come down from the Cup Series that he was racing in the Cup Series not too long ago, and they're beating him in his own playground. John Hunter Nemechek, who went through the whole cycle, the whole ladder of trucks, Xfinity, Cup, back down to trucks, back up to Xfinity, is whooping him every week. And it's like, these cars can't be that off, dude. So what's really going on, man? I don't know. I just wonder if he has a road back to Cup, because Eric Almirola expressed the other day that he pretty much has the option to do what he wants. He can stay or go. It doesn't matter, like I say, because he's got the money behind him, which sucks. And I hope that he feels – I hope that he and his little blankety-blank spotter that wants to play games on Twitter, I hope that they feel a little bit scorned by Tony Stewart's comments about we don't want a guy that can buy his way into the Cup Series. Because that's ultimately what happened anyway, as far as how he got that ride. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces right there.
Cole, after that was a good thing about the Xfinity race. And like I said, it was kind of spicy, because Cole did some stuff that some other people didn't like, and yeah, like there were some things said. So I think he made some enemies on Saturday too. So now they're gonna be like, they're talking about him too, but he's getting talked about on like all fronts right now. So I know that's got to be like uncomfortable.
Right, rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, he's in that position.
You do not go to one of the best rides in the Xfinity Series garage and then have the audacity to be like, I can't race the 16 because they're cheated up because they wrecked, buddy. If I was getting beat
and
by
then your
a
car
wrecked
gets
car,
taken to R&D.
Yeah, if I was getting beat by a wrecked car, I would keep my mouth shut. I wouldn't say a word. It could not be me, man. Like I said, it hadn't performed all year. No, ain't no way, Hoss.
I'll get the car and never come back.
But it's crazy because it's like y'all said, like he was in Cup because of his father figure. I'm guessing pulled him up, pulled an Austin Cindric and got the Cup. But there's no way Tony lets him get in that 10 car. You would think that if I'm a team owner and I demote you to a lower series and tell you get better, that should wake up the competitiveness inside you. If a dude with like literally no funding took your car and is out racing you, like if he's literally not doing anything in Xfinity, everybody can come down from Cup, destroy him. John Hunter Nemechek destroying him. His teammate Riley Herbst destroying him. Like what are you showing me that you deserve to be back in Cup?
To be fair, Cole is number 4 in the standings right now for Xfinity.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and Riley is what, 9th?
Well,
nothing wrong with that. Riley is consistent, so I would say that about Riley. He's very consistent.
For what it's worth, they said they had like 11 different winners going into that race Saturday. So I mean, and not all those guys are full time either. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying he's run terribly, but I would kind of think like unless Ford as a whole has a problem, which they might, I don't know, but I would expect for the guy that won like 8 races, was it 2019? Does somebody remember what season that was in Xfinity Series?
He won 8 races.
It was 2019. I remember it was him. Right. I know for sure it was him, Bell, and Reddick. I know Bell won 8, Reddick won 5, and I think he won like 7 in 2019.
Yeah, he
okay.
did.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, so for him to do all that, he got to the Cup Series, like I said, and because he had been messing around the Cup Series for a couple years with like making starts with a wear car and all the other kind of stuff that was prepared by SHR. And then 2020 was an okay season. He won that race at Kentucky, which I remember waking up and I read the headline, Cole Custer was. I'm like, there's no way. That's not right. But but it's ever since then it's just been kind of not for him.
Yeah, he's only had 1 win so far this year. Because John Hunter, Nemechek, and Austin Hill has been obliterating everybody. So
really,
and that's I don't know, man. Like I said, it's kind of like you got that coworker that you don't really like, but they're about to get fired, and you're just kind of like trying to egg them on to do their job correctly. That's kind of what it feels like.
Come on, man. I just need you to show up on time, baby. Come on, baby. Come on now. Stop taking such a long break at the water fountain. Come on, do some work.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah, honestly, man. I'm just like, hey, but you need to do something, man, because I'm gonna tell you something. Zane Smith can go can cash Haas checks just like you can, man. So I don't know what you want. But Haley Diggin probably would be just as good of a spokesperson and do just as good in that. Probably not just as good in that car, but Ben.
No.
Oh man, no offense to progression in motorsports, but I'm ready for the Haley Diggin experiment at the end. Maybe she's better in Xfinity. I don't know, but God,
that's similar how Jimmy Johnson is.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, because in my defense, right, I said on another episode, I'm a certified Carson Hocevar hater. But, he's run really well in Xfinity. And that brought the conversation, well, maybe trucks is just a different beast than what I'm used to watching. I've been watching the sport for 20-some odd years. And so maybe she gets out of the truck series and maybe it's different in the Xfinity series and she runs better. I hope so, but man, there was like a picture going around Facebook Saturday, right? I think, where it was a screenshot of her YouTube videos that she makes for her vlog, and it's just all like her truck's just like wrecked or on fire. And it's just like, man, if she made a career out of just not doing well in this, is that what's going on? I don't know, but yeah, but like I said, for Custer, yeah, like I said, I hope they get something figured out, man, because you might end up, I don't even know who would even take that seat, but it could be anybody. Like I said, or Riley Herbst could be by himself next year. I think Riley Herbst is going to be like Justin Allgaier. He's just going to be a lifetime Xfinity guy because he's got the money. He'd be better off driving a bulldozer, but I mean, hey, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, he does drive a bulldozer.
I'm just saying. If they make Justin Allgaier Reese's Puff diecast, I'm getting that. I'm sorry. Off topic. I'm sorry.
No, that is a very good scheme though. Shout out Ryan Williams, who is a fantastic designer, and this is off the rails, but yeah, I see what you're saying, Bonte. But anyway,
can we hold on? Sorry, if we're gonna talk about design real quick, can we please give a shout out to Harris for Brad Perez's merch? Because like that is the sickest design I've ever seen.
Yeah, shout out Brad.
I'm biased, but like, shout out Brad first of all.
Yeah, we should have shouted about in the first episode. Shout out Brad Perez. It is so crazy to see him doing this right now. I remember like I've known of Brad for like forever. I mean, like at least 6 years or whatever, because he was in the Sim Racers group. But I remember like I was struggling with a track for NASCAR Race 2003 on the PC or whatever, and I got on YouTube and I looked it up, and Brad had this video that he did at this same track at Phoenix, and I followed his line and all this stuff, and now I love racing at Phoenix. So I don't know, it's crazy to see him, but yeah, shout out Brad. I hope he does great things in Chicago this weekend and
I'm
everywhere.
so
But
excited.
yeah,
Yes, I'm really excited he gets
man,
to do that.
every car he's shown up in has just looked amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That Spets car was outstanding.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Good luck to him though.
Yeah, for sure. I like I said, I think Brad has done a wonderful job with the opportunities he's had of bringing the cars home in one piece and just running all the laps, and that's all you can ask for. And hopefully that translates into something bigger for him, because man, he really is knocking on the door of deserving that. So for sure.
Yeah. And he knows his stuff. Like he really like he like Raja, in that way, like they both have this, mindset about them that they really just focus on it and they just go full force with it. And I appreciate that. It's not just, oh, I'm showing up to the track, like, another race day, cool. Like some of the other drivers, like they're really just in it. And like he really wants to do well. And, like you said, like bring the car back in one piece, finish all the laps. Like he's really focused on that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I guess, I don't know, is there anything else we want to throw in here for filler? I don't know, Bonta, you got anything?
Do we want to talk more about Chicago? Like looking forward to Chicago?
We can. I can talk for 4 hours about Chicago. That's why I was saying.
God. Chicago.
Let's bring it up. Let's talk about Chicago.
We gotta say something.
I have never. Well, we were saving for the end. I have never wanted a NASCAR race to come and go so quickly in my entire life. Maybe Homestead of last year.
Now, why do you say that? Now you have to elaborate. What makes you say that, Carl? What makes you say that?
When they announced this last year, when there was rumblings of it, even 2 years ago, and the first thing that I thought was like, oh man, NASCAR on a street course, that might be cool, because they've teased it forever. They've talked about going and racing on Melbourne and forever and Sydney and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. And then I hop on Twitter and it's just everybody you can imagine who makes videos in their pickup trucks, because their opinions aren't really wanted in the general public. On who people who have never left their small town in Iowa or Alabama or Georgia or Missouri, who are just like, if they race in Chicago, they're gonna need bulletproof vests and the cars are gonna get stolen. Like, dog, we raced at Gateway a couple weeks ago. I know for a fact people get murdered at the truck stop across the street. I ain't gonna lie to you. I passed by there one day. They had it duct tape off like the first 48. Like, come on, man. God.
Well, no. Okay, so here's the funny part. 48. When they first announced the Chicago race last year, I was in Chicago and I was literally standing where the track is gonna be, because my hotel is literally like on Michigan Street. So if I had stayed in that hotel, I would have been like on like right over the track, and it making me mad because I really wish I could have done it. But it was like $700 a night for that hotel when I looked it up right after they made that announcement.
Yeah.
And it was not even a fancy hotel; it was like a Best Western. Like,
I would rather, if I were to go to Chicago, I would rather stay at Gurney and drive my rest of the way there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it was like, yeah, I mean, it made me so mad, because I was like, oh my God, of course, because I'm here now and I'm like having this great time, downtown Chicago, whatever. And of course, now the NASCAR race is going to be right where I'm standing and I'm not going to get to do it. I was like, God, I'm so mad. Did you see
a car outside anywhere?
No, that was, I think they did that literally like the week after I left. Like, I was so mad. I was so mad because, like, God, if I had just gone a week later, I would have seen all of that.
And like the announcement was so cool. It's such a cool thing to do. I mean, like I said, we're in this era of they've got to throw everything at the wall, see what sticks, because because the clear solution to fix these problems nobody wants to do. We've all accepted that. Everybody, the sports leaders are saying it, the drivers are saying it, the owners are saying, look, We all know how to fix these problems, but we're not going to do it. So we got to figure something else out. I thought it was a cool deal at first, but man, dude, the fans have made being excited for this miserable. And so, on one hand, like I want this to fail so that we don't ever have to deal with it ever again. Because the last couple weeks, I have come so close to losing my Twitter account, man.
As you do every week. But anyway,
as I do every week. It's true. And just to pause that for a second. So last week we gave everybody out our Twitter handles, and I just want to say anything that I say is just me only. It does not reflect anyone involved in the podcast or this podcast. And you have to also understand, man, that I deal with stupid people on a daily basis, and I can't vent that frustration where I'm at. So it has to come out behind my fat thumbs. So I mean, whatever happens, happens. But you have a guy who is not even in the spotters. Is Brett spotting for anybody anymore? I don't know.
Colin Racing. I think with Turner Smith.
With who?
I think it's Turner Smith. He's spotting.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's coming to Chicago, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on
of course, because he's
gonna be there.
Complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's Freddie's groupie, so he goes everywhere. But dude, I'm gonna tell you something about Brett Griffin for a second, okay? Back. This is like when one of the first NASCAR Heat games came out, and he was on it, and then I tweeted him, not because I was like antagonizing him, but because I thought he had to find it funny because the spotter audio was really bad. And I tweeted him, and I was like, I don't understand anybody can understand what Brett Griffin is saying in NASCAR Heat 2 or whatever. And then he quote tweeted me. And he goes, "Oh, you need to flip your switch from dipshit to this shit." And I was like, "What do you say F me for?" And I was like, what? And that was, and up until that point, all I knew Brett Griffin was he was a spotter for Clint Boyer, and Clint Boyer's body of work speaks for itself. So that I ain't got to go no further than that. But like, look. I love Clint, and I wish that Fox let him be a professional. I think that, and I mean, it's whatever, but it's just, look, hey, y'all weren't building dynasties together, and that's all I'm saying. And you talking like somebody that was building a dynasty. If Eddie DeHunt or Steve Earl Barbin, that was Jimmy Johnson's spotter forever, or even whatever, TJ Majors, if one of those guys wanted to go on Twitter and talk all that mess, I would respect it. I'm like, look, you got to respect the GOAT. I'm not going to let anything slide necessarily. But well, he has some merit. But for you to be the NASCAR version of Brett Kishner and just, I could go on forever about it, but I'm not going to. But yeah, this has been
personally.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me personally, I want to take this level of disrespect.
Hey, look, bro, look. He's already got me blocked. There's nothing else that can be done. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's who he is. And I'm like, bro, that's crazy that you can just do this. And then you also are associated with the biggest media platform in the sport with Dirty Mo. And it's just like, and your whole personality is being drunk on a podcast and sharing freezing cold conservative takes for whatever reason, just because it pisses people off. I mean, and like he's tried to bully people all the time on Twitter, and they've all been like, "This you?" And he's had to block him because he can't handle the criticism. But
it's just irresponsible and it's unnecessary. I mean, it's like, with everything that NASCAR has tried to do and has done, in the past like 5 to 10 years, and you still sitting here acting like that. Like, I just find that really disrespectful. Like, if I'm a higher up in NASCAR, I'd just be like, no. Because, if we're really trying to change how people look at NASCAR and how the fans feel about NASCAR, you can't have people talking like that. Like, it really just gets to a point where, okay, we get it. You got to be an edgelord all the time, whatever.
Right, exactly.
But, go do that somewhere else. Like, don't do it while you're working for us, and don't do it to our fans. Like, some kind of line needs to be drawn with that, because it's dumb. Like, and it is giving people a bad name. It's giving spotters a bad name. I know Freddie was like going off about that, whatever, but that's just the truth. Like, when you have people like us who have never felt welcome in this sport, And then you have people like that who like make it their job to just, continue to marginalize people instead of, working towards what the rest of NASCAR is working towards. It's just like, what are you doing at that point?
And that's the thing. Like, if you have your viewpoint, that's fine, right? But let's have a dialogue. Like we're not gonna do the whole I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small deal just because you work in the sport. Also, it is incredibly irresponsible of him because he is 6 degrees separated with the team that I just said today has been almost the face of the sport rebranding to be more progressive and more inclusive.
Exactly.
You are that close to that organization and you're doing stupid stuff like this all the time. And so like I said, so that's incredibly frustrating. The other biggest problem I have with Brett, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this because it's getting slandered at this point, and we haven't talked about Chicago, but is also just like, even when I listen to him on a professional level, it is always like, well, I know something in the garage nobody else knows, and then it gets like disproven immediately. And it's just, I'm just like, come on, man. Like I don't know what it is, but like he had such a sore ass last year, and I hate that we're cussing, but about Kyle Busch at RCR. He was so mad about it because he kept saying Kyle was just in there for the money and blah, blah, blah. And then Kyle was like, no, it wasn't it at all. So it kind of spelled out to me that he was mad that he didn't sign with Colleague because I guess he has a vested stake in Colleague. But I don't know. But yeah, it's just, man, you're not funny. You're not really that on point with what you do know. And on top of that, you're intentionally trying to be controversial because you get clowned all the time. So you know how this is going to go over. This is not a recent development. This is all the time with you. But in any case, y'all say your piece, and then we can talk about Chicago, because I'm going to get red in the face just like he is.
Well, let's all calm down.
We can move on from that.
We'll go ahead and I'll take Chicago. Personally, right. I'm looking super duper forward to it. Just because, McDonald's is one of the big sponsors for Bubba. It's a home race for them. That's going to be awesome just to see the fan promo and how they're going to get the community and everybody involved. I'm super excited to see how that works. And then plus, Chicago's a really, really diverse city. They're really embracing wanting to move the sport forward, wanting to bring, a more diverse fan base to the sport. What better way to do it than a street course in Chicago? So. I think it's going to be dope. Hopefully the OEMs, they got this whole pace car situation planned out because that was a little, half-brained personally we need to find that out like 5 days before the race. But hopefully everything goes the way NASCAR wants it to. Other motorsports have been able to be successful in the street course. I think the course is going to be set up beautifully. NBC just needs to do their part, make sure the production goes off without a hitch. I'm glad they had Parker Kligerman out there in a thunderstorm yesterday, so showing the setup, showing how involved they already are. That's just to make sure, like, I need this to go down the way it's been playing the last 2 years. The mayor of Chicago didn't get dragged for all of this to just flop. So personally, I hope it succeeds. I know they signed a 3-year deal. If the powers that be want to move it, I just at least hope if this is a one-off, it's the best one-off we've had and make everybody just wonder what if. Let's go back. So let's go to Chicago.
Me personally, I'm gonna be honest. Excuse my language. I'm gonna say fuck everybody who talk crap about Chicago.
Hey.
No. I said this. I'm getting really sick and tired of people trying to disrespect Chicago, talking about like, oh, it's so dangerous. Oh, losing that.
No, it ain't.
We literally in downtown, the most safest place in Chicago. So what are you talking about? I will never understand that. Me personally,
there's museums and an aquarium across the street. Like,
literally.
It's not. Like, I don't think that's how you know people aren't paying attention.
Right, and then not only that, Chicago has Hamburg University. Right? Hamburg University.
There's university stuff like in that area. I can't remember what it was, but I know like I saw a theater department for somebody near me. Like there was all kinds of stuff down there. But like it's a touristy destination, and it's not like what people are thinking it is. It's literally like the hub, part of it at least, because it goes all the way down. But yeah, like you got the fountain right there, you got the aquarium right there, the field museum, which is amazing. God, I spent all day in there. Like I didn't even get to see everything because I spent so much time in there. So like, there's all this cool stuff over there. It's not dangerous. I walked everywhere and had no issues. So
like I've been in Chicago like a lot during my whole life. Let's be honest. Downtown too. Had a blast. I wish I wish I went to Chicago, but them ticket prices. Ooh.
Yeah, the prices.
That's right there.
Yeah, the prices were that really disappointed me.
Yeah, me too. Like I was pissed. But overall, I'm excited for this race. I hope they go back, and I hope they lower the damn ticket prices for next year. I want to go.
And I'm glad. I'm glad Bubba's doing his block party too.
Yeah.
Because in Richmond, like that was the coolest thing for me. Like I could probably do a whole podcast episode just about that weekend, but it was so cool seeing not only all those people there for Bubba, but like wearing 2311 merch and like it was like all black people. It was a sea of black people, in NASCAR merch, like interacting with his car. Taking selfies with him. Like it was so cool to see because I'm like, I grew up 20 some years not seeing anyone who looked like me anywhere around NASCAR really. And then to see that, I was just like, holy crap. Like that was amazing. And they gave out free tickets. I don't know if they're going to do that for, Chicago, but I thought it was cool that they did it for Richmond.
Chicago too.
Yeah.
But
I thought that was cool.
It's free tickets for Chicago as well.
They gave out free tickets to the race at the Richmond block party. So everyone who was there, if you found somebody who's and so it was cool because a lot of the people that I saw like that Friday night, I saw them again that Sunday because we were all like waving at each other. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say this though online. I was gonna ask a friend, you want to come meet to Chicago, the block party and stuff, but we both had work, so. It's like some things I want to do I can't do. It's so frustrating, man.
Yeah.
Especially if it's involved around NASCAR. That's even more frustrating, but that's what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say I am definitely excited for it. Like I said, it's new, it's fresh. I think with the way that these guys have raced on road courses, there's probably going to be a lot of cautions, which will ultimately deem it as a quote good close quote race. I am a little bit deterred by the fact that as far as the traveling fan experience, we kind of have our own Miami Grand Prix situation a little bit because I looked at it when tickets went on sale last year, and the pricing just wasn't really anything that interested me. I could do a weekend at Daytona for about the same cost, and comparing the. So I just was like, I'm not going to go for it. But, just to speak to on a very serious tone, just to speak to, I think the concerns about safety are very placed in very bad faith. That is not. I'm not a resident of Chicago, but I have been to Chicago probably 20, 30 times. And I've never had an issue there. And I'm the kind of guy that I walk around with bib overalls and a camouflage Caterpillar hat, in times. And so if I can walk around the south side of Chicago and asking guys, how the hell do you get a ticket for the L train? Because that's happened. To try to go to a Cubs game when I was there one weekend. There's not. It's not dangerous like they think it is. What happens is what happens between people that whatever. But I think it's very unfair to write that off because that race is area that's in a demographic that NASCAR fans don't like. It's very telling. It just isn't a good look, and I wish that they would have more open mind to it because I think it can be fun. And the fact that they're doing the block party. They're having some really awesome concerts going through all that. McDonald's is going to be really big for it. I think all that is cool, and it is a little bit frustrating that NASCAR made that announcement, they used Bubba Wallace to help make it. They knew what they were doing there. They probably should have used somebody else, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm super excited for it, and I hope this becomes a regular thing. I just hope that we can get this in conjunction with either Chicagoland or Road America, because those are two tracks that are also really good. And I think the other part of people who honestly just are not excited for this race is because we lost one good track in the area and then another one with Road America. So but with that being said, you only live once, so why not? I mean,
You might as
honestly,
well just try it. I mean,
yeah,
it's
because
something different.
yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say them using Bubba as a promotion. Hey, perfect person. I don't care. Perfect person.
I think that they have a chance to really package him well. I think that the people that are in Chicago and they're going to a race just because they happen to be in Chicago that weekend that aren't NASCAR fans, which is who NASCAR is trying to attract, will get a really pleasant experience dealing with like the block party and stuff like that. So I think he's great for that. I think, and I'll say this on the stand. I think Bubba Wallace is a fantastic asset for NASCAR to draw in new fans.
He is.
Absolutely. And so I completely understand why they did that, and I'm happy for it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm just nervous, I guess, for them to start. I guess they practice on Friday. Is that right? Or is Saturday? Bob posted the schedule today. I didn't see it though. I looked at it for a second.
I think it is.
Yeah, I'm excited when they get through practice and see how that track is. I remember I watched part of the Invitational when they did it in 2021, and that, I mean, of course, that's not a 1-to-1. That's iRace, that's different. But yeah, I mean, we just gotta wait and see. So with that being said, anything else? Any other closing thoughts or anything?
Nope.
Looks like Lupe is just posted the promotion for the block party.
Oh, nice.
If y'all in the area, please go out. If you can go see Lupe for free, please just go see him.
Man, I would.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah,
I saw him in college for free.
Right.
So
Right, facts.
Hey,
shout out VCU.
Even though I don't have a way there, but y'all go have fun.
Please.
Yeah,
I know.
If you're able to go. It's history in the making. We haven't done anything like this before.
And it's at the Black History Museum, and that's a beautiful museum.
Yeah.
I just think that is so cool.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
It's so cool. I wish I could go.
I'm really hoping that Bubba has a good result. I mean, just the top 15 or something. I don't know, but I almost kind of hope that Booty kind of, as a nod to the race and the culture, leaves him out for a little bit to lead a lap or two under, because he's by admission not good at road courses. But then again, nobody's run this place, and so who knows what's going to happen? Because I'm positive they're going to go off in the first couple laps and I'll stuff it somewhere. And if they don't do it, then they'll do it at the end of the race. So, but yeah, this has been, really just monumental building up to it. I mean, even Bristol Dirt, we kind of knew what to expect a little bit, but this is something totally different beast. And so that'll be cool to see there. But I think that's all I have this weekend. Is F1 back this weekend?
Yeah, I think everybody's back this weekend.
Everybody back.
We are so back.
Yes.
So back to
where's
see the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I would say, where's the FIA Max Verstappen series at this weekend?
In Austria. They're at home. He didn't have to go far. He's at home. It's gonna be something. I'm just since we're talking about F1, really, really excited. Toto Wolff was talking trash, saying that Red Bull's time is coming to an end.
Yep.
They said he got 2 upgrades coming, and they'd be right there at the doors. So
I hope so. I miss my boy who was in victory lane.
I hope now I will say this: yes, please go get them, but let's not get penalized for going over the cap.
No, absolutely
Yeah,
get
agreed.
penalized for going over the cap. Who cares? I'm no, I'm gonna no. I'm on the other side of this hill, and Buddy is my fist to the sky, and I'm yelling because Red Bull goes over the cap, and it's such a slap on the wrist. It made no real difference. To hell with it. Go over the cap. Deal with it. It doesn't matter. Now, I say that, and because it's Mercedes and because Lewis by association, it'll be a much harsher penalty. But, I hope they don't go over the cap. But, yeah, they asked Toto, like, did he think that they were going to be in a position to win a Grand Prix this year? And he was like, in his famous, yeah, we're going to win at Silverstone. I can't do it. That's probably racist somehow. I love Toto.
Gotta cut that.
Just the way that he talks is so funny because it's so matter of fact in some ways, and you have Christian Horner trying to be sly, and then like Toto Wolff just comes out and says it all the time, which is really funny. But yeah, I'm excited to hopefully see them do well with these two new upgrades. But unfortunately, it'll be Max Verstappen, leading by 8, 9, 10 seconds this weekend in Austria, with Sergio Perez doing his best.
Snooze fest.
And look, it's hard to justify watching it, especially with the sprint races, but I still am partially enjoying it, just to see, how, because the best of the rest between, Ferrari and Mercedes and Aston Martin has actually been a cool battle to watch. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, it's pretty rough. And then, I saw the argument on Twitter yesterday where somebody said that, they made the comparison like, oh, well, Mercedes back in the day, and I just like, look, man, even in the early like Mercedes dominance era when no other team could touch them, they at least raced each other and made that interesting and took each other out. And like I said, at some point, I mean, it was something to watch.
Too.
Yeah, and they had competition, like I said, because you had, the 3 or 4 year period where Ferrari were kind of right there, and if it wasn't Ferrari, it was Red Bull. And this is just something completely different. I mean, to watch them sit on the pole and just take off and just not even look back, not even sweat it, is so frustrating. And it's just, and then Sergio is just like doing F all to be right there with him. And, which I don't know if that's Sergio's fault or not. Who knows? But golly, is this just agonizing to watch right now.
Yeah.
But where's the new car going to be at?
Wait, is IndyCar coming on Sunday?
I think everybody's back this weekend.
All right.
It was like everybody was off this past weekend.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what
we know the Cup Series ain't off for the next 19
Mid
weeks.
Ohio. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, Mid-Ohio. Yes. Doubleheader, right?
I actually think so.
It may be.
It may be, yeah, because
July 2nd.
Because they was promoting that big time.
Aren't the trucks?
They're at 1:30. IndyCar's at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
Aren't the trucks there next weekend too?
Oh yeah.
Not next weekend, not this coming weekend, but
No.
the following weekend.
I think so.
Yeah, because it's like their last race before the playoffs for them.
That's right. Yeah, they're about to.
Their schedule is so weird. Yeah,
I know. It's so weird. I always
more
forget
damn
that.
races. What the hell they be doing?
Because like Ross said in his post race, he was like, "Yeah, we got 3 races up to the playoffs," and I was like, "Do what?" It's they got.
So,
hold on. They got.
So that means Milwaukee is a playoff race, right?
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy. But I'm gonna say no because Milwaukee doesn't deserve a playoff race.
Yeah.
They have Milwaukee in the round of 10.
I appreciate it, Carl.
Hey.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we
But
had.
They go to the championship for trucks is November 3rd in Phoenix.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They go for a while. They have those weird breaks in between.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Trucks Talladega is always fun. That'll be cool, I guess. I don't know. I've got a raining cloud over my head this year at the Truck Series because with Raj out of a ride at the end of the year and just with terrible luck, it has just not been.
We're gonna manifest a new ride for him.
Right.
So, we had a late breaking host pop in real quick, and we're just wrapping up. But Baraka, you want to say anything about the Chicago Street Race? Your thoughts, your opinions on it?
Yeah, sorry, but for the lateness, just had something that just pop up, like an hour ago that I'm just now finishing up. I'm excited for the street course. I mean, it's something new, in my opinion. Hopefully, 2311 could get their setup right for the street race, because it's now spooky hours for the 23 team in terms of trying to ease a way to the playoffs. It's like all I'm asking is for a solid race and even a win. That's all I'm asking for the 23 team going into this weekend.
You know how crazy the streets was. Well, I don't know, but you know how crazy it would be if Reddick in the 45 manages to win this race.
Like personally, I'll still be happy because I'll back any. I'll back.
Yeah,
it's 2311, and it's a Toyota, and I have my manufacturer bias there. I'll be happy regardless if a Toyota driver wins it. But for Bubba, I was just like, okay, if the 45 team could manage to at least figure it out, especially on like street and road courses, surely they could probably send some tips or ideas to the 23 team. Like, come on, like that's all we're asking.
Hey, I'm gonna say this: if Bubba end up win this street race, I'm getting drunk. I don't care.
Well,
we throwing a parade.
That's like every day.
The funny thing is, I got a bottle of Taylor Port just waiting for me to splurge.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep.
There's a tackle and bait shop about 30 minutes from me that sells corn liquor. So I mean, I'm not even lying.
Absolutely not.
I know how to go ask for it. But no, I will say though, if a Jordan owned car won the Chicago Street Race, it'd be like that TikTok where it's like, it's a parade inside my city. Yeah, it is. Like, it's a parade inside my city. Yes.
They just need Dylan Brooks.
Actually, he said that.
You said what, Bonte?
I said if Bubba win that race, imagine him get out the car and do the sush and saying that parade on my city.
Man,
I will be there.
That would have been.
I'll fly up there just to high five him for that.
I have dreams of Bezos signing over a $2 million check to me before that even happens. But I mean, hey, you never know, man.
I can't lie. I want that to happen, but also I don't know if you guys talked about the race yesterday, but it's like I could not. After Chastain overtook I think it was a Truex or Hamlin. Like I'm not gonna cap, bro. I cut it off. It's like I cannot sit here and watch a Chastain victory. Like nothing inside my soul would accept ever watching that man smash a watermelon and be happy on the track. I can't bear it. And that's just my personal opinion.
I think I'm more bothered by everyone sharing the watermelon after it's been on the track and after other people's mouths have been on it. Maybe I'm just a germaphobe, but we still got germs going around out here.
I saw that was a little, look.
It just came out of the
let's
pandemic.
cut up some watermelon
People
and have it
Yeah,
people
y'all
are down horrendous. Like, come on, man.
Oh,
where's the sanitary decorum in this place?
Y'all out here having watermelon orgies, bro. No, I'm not rocking.
You know what? All right, everyone. It's been a great episode. Follow us on social media.
Follow on social media.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, share this.
Tell your friends.
Share this on Twitter.
Your coworkers.
Everybody.
Invest in our stock options.
Oh God.
I will invest in my stock options. Do that. I don't care what the rest. Yeah. As always, though, we can be found on Twitter at VL. Is it VL Vibes?
You don't even know your own podcast handle.
You don't even
Vibes
know.
Hold on. Y'all say y'all. I don't see nobody else jumping to do that. Okay.
So you can follow us at VL Vibes Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Thank you. And we are in the podcast is not wherever you find podcasts. It's only on Spotify, but we're working on that too.
Yeah.
So come.
As always, thank you all. Hey, you look. I'm about to stop this right now so I can say something to you. As always, though, thank you guys for listening so much. It's been great, and we'll see y'all next week.
Y'all take care.
Bye, y'all.